The lamellar helm achieved prominence throughout Eastern Europe and Central Asia, seeing its widest use between the 9th and 13th centuries. Its construction was distinct from solid dome helmets. It was assembled from rows of small, overlapping plates, often made of metal or horn, which were laced together with leather or cord. This method produced flexible armor that permitted movement while still effectively absorbing powerful impacts. The style was particularly favored by Byzantine, Rus', and Mongol cavalry forces. Within the Cave of the Painters in Turkey, a wall painting depicts Byzantine soldiers clearly outfitted in banded lamellar helmets and matching armor. Further evidence of this style's longevity is found in the Madrid Skylitz's Chronicle, an illustrated 12th century manuscript. It depicts imperial cavalry in comparable golden lamellar armor, confirming the design's persistence for centuries across the empire. The lamellar helm itself was a reflection of an Eastern doctrine of warfare that prioritized being light, mobile, and precise. It was engineered for riders who fought in motion, serving as proof that protection could be derived as much from agility as from heavy iron. The Spangenhelm first emerged in the 6th century AD Central and Northern Europe, quickly becoming one of the first identifiable medieval helmets. Its design was practical. Several curved iron plates were joined together by raised metal bands. Most were topped with a small cap, or finial. Inside, a leather liner protected the wearer's head, and it was common to see them equipped with a nasal guard and a mail curtain. This construction offered sturdy defense without demanding complex metalworking skills from the smith. The Spangenhelm's importance in defining early medieval warfare is clearly illustrated by its use at the Battle of Tours in 732, where Frankish soldiers under Charles Martel are frequently depicted wearing these segmented helmets. The design subsequently proliferated across much of Europe. It effectively served as a historical bridge, blending the skilled craftsmanship of late Roman helmet making with the new emerging styles of the early Middle Ages. A 14th century French chronicle, for instance, provides numerous illustrations of mounted knights outfitted in Spangenhelms. It was this simplicity and inherent adaptability that established the Spangenhelm as one of the most persistent helmet designs in European history. It remains a powerful symbol of the historical shift from the classical Roman Empire to the distinct era of the medieval world. The enclosed helm first appeared in Western Europe toward the end of the 12th century, having evolved straight from the open nasal helm. It was designed as a cylindrical steel shell that completely protected the head, leaving only thin eye slits and small breathing holes. The resulting helmet was flat-faced, heavy, and intimidating, built specifically for the shock of a cavalry charge. Illustrated manuscripts, such as the Codex Manesse, provide clear depictions of crusading knights outfitted in enclosed helms. The design was swiftly adopted in France, England, and the Holy Roman Empire, as armies trusted its thick plates to resist the impact of arrows and lances. A 13th century fresco in Rodneck Castle, located in northern Italy, clearly illustrates a knight equipped with an enclosed helm. This helmet was designed for the brutal nature of the Crusades. It sealed the head entirely in iron, prioritizing full protection over comfort. The design severely restricted vision, limited airflow, and created suffocating heat. Despite these drawbacks, it became the defining image of the Crusader, a fusion of faith and steel that turned armor into a powerful symbol. The barbute first appeared in Italy during the 15th century. It was forged from a single piece of steel, curving smoothly to protect the head and jaw. Its signature mark was the T or Y-shaped opening for the eyes and mouth, a clear nod to the classical Corinthian helmet of ancient Greece. Simple, streamlined contours took the place of rivets and hinges, making the helmet quieter and less heavy than other designs. It was a popular style, crafted by Venetian and Milanese armorers for knights, city militias, and mercenaries alike. Extant examples held in the collections of the Metropolitan Museum of Art and the Wallace Collection are characterized by polished surfaces and sparse ornamentation, facts which serve as a testament to Italian precision. Illustrations from the mid-15th century, such as those in the Paduan Bible picture book, depict troops outfitted in barbutes during both sieges and smaller skirmishes. The barbute itself blurred the line between function and art, finding a unique balance between grace and protection. It was a design that referenced antiquity while simultaneously embracing the engineering principles of the Renaissance. A helmet born from history, but forged for a new age of warfare. The frogmouth helm, or Steckhelm, first emerged in Germany in the late 14th century and became the iconic helmet for jousting. It got its name from its unique visor, a narrow slit that angled upwards, looking just like a frog's mouth. It was a massive piece of equipment, forged from thick steel with a high crown and a wide neck, designed specifically to absorb a direct lance hit. It was so heavy that it had to be bolted to the breastplate, turning the wearer's upper body into a solid fortress. By the 15th century, jousters across the Holy Roman Empire and Italy had adopted this specialized design. A 15th century tournament book known as the Turnierbuch contains illustrations of knights outfitted in these massive helmets, which feature visors angled specifically to deflect incoming blows. Earlier sources like the Codex Manessa already hinted at this design, showing the trend was moving toward fully enclosed tournament armor. The frogmouth helm was never meant for a real battlefield. Instead, it became a symbol of chivalry, a sign of strength, prestige, and performance. The Bascinet was introduced in early 16th century Italy, coinciding with the evolution of armor during the Renaissance. It was characterized by an open face, a prominent combed ridge running over the top, hinged cheek pieces, and often a small brim or peak. This design was lighter and more comfortable than its predecessors, granting soldiers vital situational awareness on the new gunpowder-driven battlefields. While plain steel versions were issued to infantry, pikemen, and light cavalry, officers frequently displayed ornate, etched, and gilded models. One of the most famous examples of the Bascinet is the beautifully made Milanese one owned by Emperor Charles V. The Bascinet also played a major role in the 1525 Battle of Pavia, a clash that highlighted the rise of gunpowder and the end of medieval combat. Even though it was created at the end of the medieval period, the Bascinet brought that era's spirit into the next, combining practical function with graceful design as warfare changed forever. The Great Helm, sometimes referred to as the pot helm, originated in Western Europe near the end of the 12th century, with its earliest appearances documented around the 1180s during the early Crusades. Its design was straightforward yet imposing, a cylindrical helmet featuring flat or slightly curved sides, narrow slits for vision, and pierced holes for ventilation. It provided complete coverage for the head, offering knights significantly enhanced protection during mounted combat. By the 13th century, it had evolved into the iconic helmet of the knightly class and saw extensive use in the Crusader states, France, England, and the Holy Roman Empire. Illustrations in manuscripts, such as the Maciejowski Bible, clearly depict knights clashing in this heavy, bucket-like design. Helmets of this type were likely utilized in battles like Bouvines in 1214 and were common throughout the Third and Fourth Crusades. Although it was eventually succeeded by the Bascinet, the Great Helm symbolized the apex of crusading warfare. The nasal helm is recognized as one of the first true medieval helmets, emerging in Western and Central Europe in the late 10th century and remaining in common use through the 12th century. It was an evolution of its predecessor, the conical Spangenhelm from the Viking Age. Typically crafted from a single piece of iron or steel, the helmet featured either a tall conical or a rounded dome. Its defining characteristic was the projecting nose guard, or nasal, which afforded vital protection to the face while still permitting wide vision and easy breathing, ideal for mounted warriors. This design became the standard for knights and soldiers across Europe during the Norman period. The Bayeux Tapestry, dating to the 1070s, provides the most famous depiction of nasal helms, illustrating their use by Norman knights at the Battle of Hastings in 1066. They are also represented in subsequent manuscripts, such as the Maciejowski Bible. Although the nasal helm was eventually superseded by fully enclosing great helms during the 13th century, it remains a symbol of the ascendancy of early medieval heavy cavalry. The Bascinet originated in Western Europe during the late 13th century, representing an evolution of the simple steel skull cap known as the cervelliere. In contrast to the heavy Great Helm, the Bascinet was significantly lighter, offering far superior visibility and comfort. Its typical form consisted of a rounded or pointed skull, which was often fitted with a mail aventail to protect the neck. Later iterations incorporated visors, including the distinctive, pointed pig-faced style, which provided additional protection while still permitting airflow in combat. By the 14th century, the bassinet had become the most prevalent helmet throughout France, England, and the Holy Roman Empire. The helmet is frequently depicted in 14th century French chronicles and artwork, where both knights and infantry are illustrated wearing it in sieges and battles. Bassinets were notably present at famous conflicts such as Crécy in 1346 and Agincourt in 1415. Their equilibrium between mobility and protection made them invaluable in combat. In time, the design would evolve into more enclosed helmets, namely the sallet and the armet. The kettle hat, sometimes called an iron hat, first appeared in early 12th century Western Europe, with examples found in places like England and France. Its design was simple and open, consisting of a rounded crown and a wide brim that sloped down, much like a modern metal hat. This shape was perfect for protecting the wearer from arrows and strikes coming from above. It was a very practical helmet for foot soldiers, crossbowmen, and even peasants who were forced to fight. Historical sources provide clear depictions of the kettle hat. The Maciejowski Bible, for instance, vividly shows common soldiers wearing its wide brim during chaotic battles. The Luttrell Psalter offers similar evidence, illustrating English infantry and archers equipped with the same practical design. These representations confirm how the kettle hat became a symbol of the ordinary fighting man in Europe, prized for its defense against overhead attacks like arrows and other blows. The sallet first appeared in Italy and Germany in the early 1400s and quickly became popular across Western Europe. It was developed to replace the bassinet with a lighter, more practical design that offered better mobility and a wider field of vision. A typical sallet had a rounded skull, a long tail at the back to guard the neck, and often a visor that could be moved. It was frequently paired with a bavor to protect the throat and lower face. By the mid-15th century, the sallet was the main helmet used by both knights and foot soldiers in France, England, and the Holy Roman Empire. The helmet's popularity is well documented in manuscripts such as the Talbot Shrewsbury Book, in which soldiers are depicted wearing the characteristic rounded and tailed designs. Helmets of this type were present at major battles of the Hundred Years' War. Furthermore, they appear in countless tournament scenes, solidifying their status as a symbol of late medieval warfare. The armet helmet first came out of Italy in the early 1400s and soon spread across the continent. It was designed from the start to work perfectly with a full suit of plate armor. Its most famous feature was a pair of hinged cheek pieces that swung in and locked under the chin, enclosing the face more completely than any helmet before it. The helmet had a rounded skull, and some versions included a small peg on the visor. This peg let a knight use a gauntlet to lift the visor in a battle or joust. By the mid-1400s, the armet was the default helmet for knights in Italy, France, and Burgundy. The helmet is depicted in the Triumphs of Emperor Maximilian I, a festival book commissioned by the Holy Roman Emperor. It was also featured in major battles, such as Castillon in 1453. The armet's popularity persisted well into the 16th century, at which point it was eventually superseded by the close helm. These 6 helmets represent some of the most recognizable designs of the medieval period. From the basic nasal helm to the fully enclosing armet, each one serves as a reflection of the evolving demands of warfare. Together, these helmets show how armor was always adapting over the centuries. That's the end of Medieval Helmets Explained. Thanks for tuning in. If you liked it, feel free to subscribe so you don't miss our new videos every week.